Hi guys, Charlie here from Christmas on Crestline. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be announcing our 2018 best places to see Christmas lights in the Wichita metro area. There was some debate on how we wanted to go about doing this year. The Denise Neal at the Wichita Eagle does a fabulous job every year of putting out a list, and very early on, of where to go see Christmas lights at in Kansas or Wichita, really. And I didn't want to duplicate that. I didn't want to kind of regurgitate what she's already done, because she's already done a phenomenal job. There's no reason to recreate the wheel. But a list out there that just does not exist, year in and year out, it just never has happened before in Wichita, is where do you go to see animated lights? Is there a list just to see where all the animated light shows are at? And there's just not, at least not one that we could find. So I wanted to do the top 5 places, excluding ourselves of course, of where to go see an animated Christmas light show. And we got some tips from the audience. Got some Chad from Wichita gave us some interesting places to go out and see out in Andover. And see here, Connie Joe came in town to do a little bit of a judging for us. She's originally from the Southwest. And that was kind of one of the parameters we wanted to use, is if someone's coming in from out of town and you want to show them holiday lights, where are your go-to places? You're going to go to Lights on Texas, and even though by definition they are animated because they do have lights to music, they're more of a static display. And they've taken first in the state contest and KWCH's best places to see lights in the state a few years back, and even in Denise Neal's in the Wichita Eagles article this year, they were number 1. They took first, deservedly so. But we eliminated them. They're already on number 1 on Denise's list. People already know they're decently famous here in Wichita. People already know about them. You can go to Botanica. Botanica's a go-to. You have to take somebody to the Botanica Light Show if they're coming in town. But what about animated shows? Well, we wanted to put a list together for you guys of the top 5 places in our view for where to go see an animated Christmas light show. And by animated, I mean the lights to music, the FM station, all that. So what we decided to do is just that. We put a list together of our choices for the top 5 places to see Christmas lights, animated Christmas lights in Wichita. And one of the deciding factors in that is one of the thought processes is if someone's coming in from out of town, where are you going to take them to see lights? So without further ado, here is our top 5 participant. Number 5. Coming to us at number 5 with 1709 Black Oak Court in Andover, Kansas. Now you've heard of dueling pianos, I imagine. Well, this house is one of 2 dueling houses. The house right next to it at 1708 also does an animated Christmas light show. But for the parameters of this contest, 1709 was the much better choice. They do that house and the house next to it, they do at least 3 similar songs, or 3 identical songs as far as song choices. So it was kind of unique to see it. It's the first and only time I've seen that in the Wichita metro area. So if you want to go to one cul-de-sac where 2 houses are animated, that's the place to go. Okay, so for you traditionalists, that is the only song in our top 5 that is not a true or a traditional Christmas song. I naively thought that was a song from like Nightmare Before Christmas. Thought it was a Christmas song, but like from a movie soundtrack or something. It went extremely well with the lights. They did a great job programming that. And so I'm like, hey, daughter, I asked my daughter Haley, I said, hey, what song is this? I can't place it. And I'm usually pretty dang good about placing Christmas songs. I just couldn't quite get it. And she too thought it was from A Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, admittedly, I've never actually seen the movie, so I just knew it kind of had that vibe to it. So without cheating, and how I cheated is I took my phone, I hit the little Google button, and it says, hey, what song is this? You hit that button, and it tells you what song it is. I had no idea. I thought it was from a movie. So without cheating, what movie or what song did they use a second ago when you watched the Black Oaks Christmas? Go back and look, rewind it if you need to. I'm curious to see if you know, because I'm getting ready to tell you. It's the Angry Birds theme song. So I guess if you play Angry Birds, you probably knew that right like that. Or if you did what I did and had to Google it, you knew instantly, or semi-instantly if you had to Google it. But yeah, that's kind of creative. But yeah, for you traditionalists, that is our only non-traditional Christmas song in our top 5. Number 4 is up next. Number 4 is one that made Denise Neal's list, and it is one that if you live on the east side of town, after you go see 1709 and 1708 Black Oaks Court, you need to go check out this one. It's coming to us at number 4. Alright, that was number 4 on our 2018 list of the best places to see animated Christmas lights here in the Wichita metro area. And that was the Marshal Family Christmas Show, located at 620 North Stratford. And they are located, the major intersection is they're off of Central on the East Wichita between Rock Road and Woodlawn, just a block or two to the north. And they always do a great job each and every year. So we chose them just because they have a tons of show. That star is just amazing that they have on top of the roof. It is huge. Everything there is large and big, so they do it upright. Number 3 on our 2018 list of the best places to see animated Christmas lights in Wichita is Okay, so that was our number 3, the Gold Street Christmas, located at 5336 South Gold Street here in Wichita, Kansas. The thing that's cool about them is they have just 2 things that nobody else in Wichita has. Number 1, in my opinion, they have the absolute best display of what station to tune into. They have the station that's bright, it's illuminated, it's up front, you can easily see it. And that candy cane wheel that they had in the right screen just behind that car, that was just brilliant right there. That is something no one else in Wichita has, or at least nothing that anyone in Wichita has that I've seen. That is just very neat how they animated that. I loved all their song choices. There was some debate whether or not to make them 2. They were not going to go below number 3. They do an amazing job there. And according to, again, Denise Neal at the Eagle, she's written up about them before. And that gentleman there started that when he was a senior in high school. And that's how talented he is. So good job, you, buddy. All right, so now we come up to number 2. And this went into debate even up until late last night about who is number 2, who is number 1. And who we have at number 2 in the 2018 Best Places to See Animated Christmas Lights in Wichita really was my number 1. And they've been a favorite of mine for years, but for whatever reason, they just don't get the publicity anybody else does, and they're kind of like a hidden gem. And they just do such a phenomenal job. But there was some debate whether or not they were going to be number 2 or number 1. One of the criteria, like I mentioned before, is where's a go-to place you're going to take somebody when they come out of town. And Connie Joe, who is our out-of-town judge this year, she voted for number 2 to be number 1. And I agreed with her. But she was outvoted, I was outvoted, and there were some parameters to that, and I'll discuss that here when we come back out of it. But for right now, number 2. Okay, kind of awesome, right? If you haven't ever seen that before, the video you just watched is probably my third favorite that they do. They do something that is rare to do in general, is they animate both string lighting and pixel lighting. And pixel lighting is where you take one bulb and you can program it to do whatever color you want it to do. And they're one of the few in town. Gold Street does a little bit of this as well. But so Golden and Gold both kind of do this, but Golden Hills does it much better. And the fact that they just own it. The little shooting laser thing they have above the window on the right side of the screen that was doing all sort of animation. It's 10 times better in person. It just is. And they have so much eye candy there that's animated. And if you go by there off season, that yard is incredibly small compared to what it looks like right now. So they do a ton there with what they have, and there was some debate to make them 1 or 2, and they went down to 2. So just basically because if you're going to take somebody, and one of the deciding factors is from out of town, you're going to say you have to see this. Number 1 is more of a grandiose show. Has more grandeur to it. It has a larger space. They do a little bit more. So that's what we went with, is number 1 this year, without further ado, of the 2018 best place to see an animated Christmas light show is... You don't know. Christmas at the McKinneys. Of course it's Christmas at the McKinneys. So they do a bang up job every year, and let's take a look real quick at what they did this year for us. See, kind of awesome, right? The McKinneys have by far and away the most professional looking of any animated show in town, and in my opinion. They have clean lines, they have bright bulbs, everything works all the time. They have that beautiful, humongous mega tree. They just have so much going on there. It's hard to not put them number one. They have great use of their space. It's feng shui, if you will. They use their space beautifully. Everything works. Bright, vivid colors, beautiful programming. They have a lot of eye candy there. They have that. They have like a reindeer and Santa in the sleigh, animated or not animated, but lifted above the garage area. It's hanging in the sky. They just have so much going on there, and everything is professionally done, magnificent looking. And if you haven't been there, highly recommend. They do the one thing more unique than anybody else that I know of is they have 2 different song sets. So you go on a Tuesday, you'll hear different songs than you heard on a Monday. So they're always going back and forth, and they have just tons and tons of song selections. So they just do a great job there. So they're number one this year. So round of applause for them. Right. Round of applause. They just did a great job. So congratulations to Christmas of the McKinneys for being the 2018 champion. Well done, you. Now, if you have a spot you're like, how did Charlie possibly miss this house? Everybody knows about it. Well, apologize. Leave it down in the comments and I'll absolutely get to it next year. You have my word. Also, if you disagree with my rankings and you thought they should have gone a little bit differently, also let me know down in the comments, and I'll put in the description of this video the addresses and everything else in case you don't want to go back through and look at the video to get the addresses. All right, guys, so thanks for watching this year's 2018 Christmas on Crestline list of the best animated shows here in Wichita, Kansas. Appreciate you watching. So for Charlie, Christmas on Crestline, and what are you doing?
Oh my God, Christmas lights.
And my daughter, Haley. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Merry Christmas.